Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. This is the Brittany React Show, and on this show we talk all things movie news and entertainment news. Today we have a very long stream potentially because we have a lot to go over. We have to go over the whole Jonathan Majors situation. He did a Good Morning America interview trying to clear his name, trying to clear his reputation. Don't know if he really succeeded with that. We're going to talk about it. Also, we have to go over the Golden Globes winners and losers. I'm not going to go over every single category, but I am going to kind of touch on the main highlights. Also, we have to talk about the fact that a sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's has finally been greenlit. So, we have a lot to go over, a lot to discuss. Sorry, I had to cancel the Friday stream. I did leave a message on the community page, so if you were confused, I hope you saw that message there. How are you guys doing? Hi Jessica, hi Natanya, hi Scorpio Shadow, hi Some Person Skywalking, hi Miss Olsen, hi Rachel, hi Burning Daylighter, hi Dr. Shonda, hi Mikey, hi Cinnamon Roll, hi Minnie, hi Scorpio Shadow, and thank you to each and every one of you who comes to my show every day. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. So, let's just jump straight into the news. Like I said, we do have a lot to go over because it's been a minute. And also, we have the awards to go over. So let me just talk about the first thing, which is the Five Nights at Freddy's is officially in the works. I know a number of you guys, I think a couple of you were asking me about it. For some reason, it took them a long time to greenlight this, but we do know now that they're doing it. They're in the process right now of nailing down the story, and they want to get going as soon as possible, says Josh Hutcherson. So that's great. That's great. I'm glad that Josh can kind of confirm this. I think this is a no-brainer. The first movie did pretty well, especially for the budget. I think the game is still very, very popular. Fans of the game seem to have liked the movie well enough, so I think this was pretty much a no-brainer. Is anyone excited for more Five Nights at Freddy's? Where do you see this franchise going? Are we going to find out more ghost children? Do you want to see any more new characters? Anyone interested in this at all? Miss Olsen says, so it's not 5 nights, it's 2 nights. I see what you did there. Oh, hi, Emel. I'm glad you're enjoying it here. Ethereal Dragon, you're not a fan of the FNAF movie. Sorry to hear about that. It was a very strange, dark movie, I will say. I don't think it was perfect, but I can see why it was a success. Danny says FNAF movie was pretty okay, so looking forward to the sequel. Okay, so some of you are looking forward to it, some not. Cheetah Viper wants Markiplier to be in this one. Well, we got Matt Pat in the first one, so yeah, Markiplier can be in the second one for sure. Yeah, ML thought it was boring. Yeah, to be honest with you, I saw the theater. The theater I was with was mostly teenagers, and a lot of them seemed pretty bored. Georgie was also bored. Okay, some of you don't care for this franchise, but it did pretty well, so, I'm curious to see what they do with the second one. Oh, Shelly. Oh my god, Shelly really did not like this movie. Shelly says the movie was dumb as hell. Well, okay, it seems like a lot of you guys are just not into it. Although Isaac is excited. Isaac is very excited. So, I think the reception to the movie was mixed, so I'm not surprised you guys seem to be pretty mixed as well. Very curious to see what they do with the next one. I think the game is still very popular enough that I think the sequel could do very well. I just hope that it's good. I think it needs to be better and more exciting than the first one, but I think there's still potential in it. We'll see. Red Stars just thinks it's a cash grab. Oh no. A lot of you guys really hated it. Dang. Okay, well, sorry about that. Moving on to something else, then. Now, I know you guys are going to be excited about this. Arcane! We finally got, a mini teaser for Arcane. You guys know this is, one of my favorite shows currently running right now. Now, this teaser doesn't really show much. It's just, literally showing barely anything. It's looking like we have one of the characters here just getting some sort of blood transfusion. I don't know what's really going on, but very curious to see. This is kind of the end shot here. They don't show much, but I'm excited for more of Arcane. I'm excited to see where they go with the show, where they go with these characters. They're really teasing this show very, very hard. I mean, the show comes out later this year, and we've really heard almost nothing about it. So I hope that Netflix gives this show like a proper marketing budget so that they actually spend time to like give this show the proper hype that it deserves. Because I feel like if more people just knew about this show, I feel like this show has the potential to be like a major hit. Like imagine if this show dropped weekly. I feel like this would be all social media would be talking about. Like the first season, that it would have dominated social media. So I hope that they do some sort of slow release date thing for this show. I think it deserves it. I hope they give it the marketing that it deserves. So we'll see what happens. But just from this very, very brief teaser here, I'm still very excited for Arcane. But what do you guys think? Yes, TD Woods is excited. Arvin is excited. Fatima says, I'm kind of surprised that not many people don't like the FNAF movie, though. I mean, the reception to that movie was mixed, so I'm not totally surprised not all of you liked it. I mean, I didn't 100% like it myself. Miss Olsen said, not interested in this show, too lazy to buy Netflix. Oh, no. If there was any show to just, like, buy Netflix for a month and binge something, it would be this show. It's really that good. Hidden Name has never seen it. Okay, some of you guys haven't seen it. You guys got to see this show. It's very good. Those who have seen it, yes, CD Woods agrees with me. We need to drop it weekly. I really wish that would be what they do with this show. Scorpio Shadow's excited. Adrian's excited. Okay. Again, can't recommend this one enough. They don't really show much in this teaser, but I just kind of had to let you guys know that they're at least starting some marketing. Now to the next topic. Now I do want to just like briefly mention what's going on with the Color Purple situation. Now I know I have not actually seen the movie yet. I know I'm going to get around to it. I'm sorry, I've been busy doing a lot of other things. Just came out at a bad time for me, but I'm going to see it. But I do want to talk about some of the behind-the-scenes drama that's coming out about it, because Taraji P. Henson, who has been in the game now for many, many years, I remember watching movies as a little kid with her acting in movies. Like, I feel like I've been watching Taraji P. Henson movies my whole life is what I'm saying. Like, she's a very seasoned actress. So she's been complaining that basically the treatment that the cast received on the set of The Color Purple was subpar, which is shocking because Oprah is a major producer on the movie, so she's kind of calling Oprah out, but for reasons I won't go into on this stream, I don't really like Oprah, so it doesn't entirely surprise me that Oprah would do this, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But Taraji P. Henson, she's been saying, like, basically, like, for example, in this particular statement, she said that the cast had to drive themselves to the set in rental cars, which is highly unusual because usually you have drivers and chauffeurs for that. She said that they all got lowballed for their pay, or at least she did, and that she wasn't paid nearly as much as what she's worth. I mean, again, she's been in the industry for a minute. She's been in a lot of high-profile movies and shows. She's not some newcomer. So it's just been really disappointing seeing how, like, apparently they were all treated. Like, apparently her trailer had bugs in it, and she had to fight to get a clean trailer. Like, this is the kind of treatment that they got on set. Very, very sad to see. To see that it happened on a movie set with majority black women. That sucks. Sucks to see that this happened on a movie that is being produced by a black woman. But again, it doesn't surprise me that it's Oprah Winfrey. But anyway, I had to bring this up because I know Taraji P. Henson, she's really putting a lot of reputation on the line, getting this news out there. But I think it needs to be said because what they went through is pretty awful. And I can't believe that they were treated that way. Yeah, I did, Jessica. Fatima says, okay, so I feel like I'm going crazy because of this. But has anyone else noticed that Whoopi Goldberg? What? We're not talking about that, Fatima. Y'all say the craziest things. Angel Barrera says maybe they wanted them to act miserable for the movie. This is not how you do it. You don't force your actors to method act. That's not how it works. The Blue Gecko Nerd, you're going to watch the movie for your birthday? Well, I hope you enjoy it. Brandon says I should produce a movie. I would love to. Martin says, I think they don't think about her as an A-list actress, which is sad because she's been in this industry for a minute. I mean, she was in Hidden Figures, which was actually a really big hit. She's also in that Empire show, which also was a major hit. She was in, I think, a couple of not Katy Perry. Oh my God, I said Katy Perry. Tyler Perry movies. She's been in a ton of stuff. Miss Olsen agrees with me. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shonda. Some of you guys know. Some of you guys know. But I had to bring this up because very, very unfortunate. Just want to get the word out there because we need to be treating all of our talent better, and Oprah should do better. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. So now let's talk about Jonathan Majors. So, Jonathan Majors, this whole situation is a mess. So we got this sort of teaser on January 6th that Jonathan Majors was going to go on Good Morning America. And he was going to have this very deep, very dramatic interview where he talks, goes over what happened with the allegations and the trial, and he was going to try to clear his name. But, the trailer for this was so dramatic that nobody took it seriously. Everyone was saying it was like an SNL joke. It was kind of ridiculous. I'm just playing it up a little bit just so you can kind of get the tone. Just of, how the corniness of it. But anyway, you could tell his PR team is really, really trying their hardest to paint him as this angelic figure. As Arvin knows, Jonathan Majors is on camera trying to fake, allegedly trying to fake a high school fight, but we all know it was fake because it looked fake AF. And so now he's on the Good Morning America, which is owned by Disney, by the way, because it's on ABC, which is interesting. I wonder if Marvel wants to still work with Kang and they're hoping this interview rehabilitates his image so they can do that, but I don't know. That's just my speculation. But it's interesting that they fired him and then they gave him this interview. But anyway, so now we're doing this really in-depth, dramatic interview, and it just seems so it just seems like an SNL sketch. It just really does, and I really wasn't sure what was going to happen in this interview, what he was going to say. I thought just based off of this trailer, at least, this trailer was going to be more he's being very sorry, just owning up to a lot of his mistakes and his wrongdoings. I thought it was going to be a very polished PR response. Boy, was I wrong, because I feel like he said everything wrong and kind of made things a lot worse for himself, which has kind of been his whole MO during this entire trial. It's we'll get into the whole trial and situation in a minute, but I do feel like what happened didn't have to blow up to be what it has become for him. I think his own actions really put him in this position. And I'm not even just talking about what happened with his ex-girlfriend. I'm talking about everything that happened since then, too. He is responsible for kind of his own negative image because of all the sloppy way he's been trying to clear his name. And this, honestly, I think this interview is another one of those things that I think just is going to backfire on him, and I think it already has. Scorpio Shadow says, I am going to guess that Disney made a deal with this guy. Yeah, I mean, my guess is Disney, obviously, they're the one that gave him this interview. The only thing I could think about is maybe Kevin Feige has a soft spot for him and he felt bad and he pulled some strings with Disney to get him this interview. That's, again, complete speculation, but I could sort of see that happening because it seems like Kevin genuinely liked him, but, of course he had to let him go for business reasons. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, a lot of celebrities / influencers tend to stay irrelevant these days. I think it's celebrity culture. I think that, the quote from The Incredibles where he says, when everyone's super, no one is. I kind of feel that in today's era, where when everyone's famous, no one is. Like, when even I can find some very small corner of internet notoriety. It's like the impact of fame and the impact of being a celebrity is lessened overall. Not saying I'm even on like the same level as Jonathan Majors. I'm not. I'm just saying that it's much easier to kind of like, but the fact that celebrities are just so like online and you see so much of them, but you also see so much of influencers too, it kind of almost puts them on the same level in a way. And I think it makes the whole allure of celebrity kind of not what it used to be. And now that we also keep getting all of these major scandals, you know, thinking back to Me Too, plus there's all sorts of conspiracies about Hollywood and celebrities right now. I think it just puts really just the concept of being a celebrity in a bad light right now. And stuff like this isn't helping. Action Pack says he has an insanely overinflated ego too. He's nowhere near the level of importance as the people he compares himself to, Obama and MLK. Oh, we'll get into it. In fact, why don't we just get into it now? So we do have part of the interview here. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I do want to play some of it just because I feel like he said some pretty wild things in this interview, and I kind of have to react to it to let you understand why I didn't really buy a lot of the things he said in this interview, and I thought they were kind of wild at the same time. I think he's clearly deluded himself into thinking that he's like this big important person. Like his career was on the come up. He was at the beginning of last year. He was doing super, super well. But he still wasn't like even on like Denzel Washington's level. Like he was just an up and coming actor who had some promise, right? But I feel like Jonathan Majors saw himself as like this message of hope for all like black people, because he keeps saying he's doing things for the community. And I feel like, first of all, we don't want you speaking for all of us. Secondly, why do you think that we are looking towards you for any sort of guidance or inspiration? Like, he really has a self-inflated view of himself. I mean, all actors do. That's true. But I think with Jonathan Majors specifically, he really has an inflated sense of himself. Like, it's bad. And I think this interview plays that out, but I'm going to play it in a second. Scorpio Shadow says, all right, here, I have a joke. He won't go to prison. I don't think he'll go to prison. He'll probably get community service or something, but he definitely won't go to prison. But anyway, getting back to this.
That 911 call from Majors came hours after an argument broke out with Jabari in the backseat of an SUV when Majors received a text from another woman saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing."
That's his ex-girlfriend on the right.
That when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger and giving her a cut behind her ear.
So I do want to explain. Sorry for the graphic images. Don't want to leave it on here, but I do want to explain that for what specifically Jonathan is accused of. He was accused of 4 things, 2 of which were dismissed. So basically, the court decided that he did hurt his girlfriend, but it wasn't intentional. So they took away all the intent from what he did. And I think what we saw in that video that they just showed where they were kind of fighting in the car, I mean, the court has said, based on the evidence that they have seen, that he did hurt her, at least accidentally, in their kerfuffle, and that there was evidence in the history of their relationship that there may have been some abuse there. So that's why he got the guilty accusation that he did. And this is what his response is, saying like, okay, did you hurt your ex?
In the face, yes. Twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah. That did not happen.
How
He denies it.
Come about?
I wish to God I knew.
He says he doesn't know how the injuries happened.
About it.
But you're confident you didn't
I have
cause
no
them.
question.
He has no question. That's what he said. He has no question. He's denying everything. He's like, even though the court literally just said, even though you may not have intended to hurt your girlfriend in that moment, you accidentally did in your fight over the cell phone that they were fighting over. That's what the court has said, so I don't even have to really say allegedly. That's what they've ruled. But he's still denying it, even though we can see what happened on camera. He's like, oh, I don't know how those injuries happened. And you could tell by his sort of air of ignorance about him that he's trying to imply that maybe his ex-girlfriend did something to put them there. I don't know. But like, that's what to me, it seemed like that's what he was trying to insinuate with that pause there. And I think that, again, I think he's kind of a little bit delusional. I really don't think he can see himself as doing anything wrong. And if he did do something wrong, then he didn't really mean it, so it didn't really happen. And those are the character traits of a narcissist. So I'm calling him a narcissist. Yeah, I'm calling it. It was his phone, Mar. They were fighting over his phone because he was texting another woman and she wanted to see his text messages. He didn't like that she wanted to see his phone, so he tried to take his phone back. That's how the fight got started. Natanya says he should have said it was self-defense. For him just to say he didn't put those injuries there at all, or he doesn't know how it happened at all, even though clearly there were injuries. I mean, I think just shows you that he's really trying to hide, or maybe not even hide. I just don't think he really lives in reality enough to see that maybe you might have put those there. I really think he lives in this world where he's just too important of a man to do something wrong. And if he did do it wrong, then it wasn't that he meant to, so it didn't really happen. Edgerman says at this point there's no way that he's going to save himself. Why is he still trying? He really is trying so hard, but I feel like him trying so hard is not helping him. Scorpio Shadow says, can we have a law or agreement that we should not give these people huge interviews after the cases? No, I don't agree with that. People should be allowed to, free speech and all that. He should be allowed to have an interview, say what he wants to say, all of that. We're just allowed to speculate and not have to nod along and be like, oh, yes, now I feel sympathy for you. Dr. Shonda says, let's normalize dumping toxic partners in 2024. Yes, I agree with that. That's nice. Some person skywalking says, dude really was cheating and then plays the victim card. Kind of sounds like it. Yeah. But there's more. That was just one part of the interview. They then tries to blame this all on race, which I will say that there is an aspect to this where I do see a lot of abusers in Hollywood just generally get by and don't get any reprimands. Take for example Ezra Miller. The fact that Ezra Miller seemed to go on a crime escapade throughout Hawaii, just wanted to commit every crime he could think of in the book, just thought, you know what? I want to commit terror today, and that's what he did. Really, so many crazy, heinous accusations thrown his way. But not that they could just completely reshoot The Flash. I get that they couldn't throw him out. That's not what I'm saying that Warner Brothers should have done. I'm just saying the fact that they still invited him to the premiere, the fact that, no one was really, saying oh, sorry about our lead actor literally being such a heinous, terrible person. Literally, it was almost like they were trying to low-key excuse his actions the whole time. Even though they couldn't really have him promote the thing, they still let him show up to the premiere. So you see, I get on certain levels, I see how maybe Hollywood protects certain abusers over others, but here's my opinion. I don't care what race you are. If you were an abuser, that should stick to you, and you should face the repercussions no matter who you are or what race you're from. So, yes, Jonathan Majors is a black man. Yes, maybe, honestly, I even hesitate to say that he's getting more scrutiny in this trial because he's black. Because I think the reason he's getting so much scrutiny in this trial is not because he's black. It's because he's playing Kang. It's because he was supposed to play the biggest villain in the MCU. So that's why he's getting so much attention, because he literally was on the biggest come up, like, very, very quickly in Hollywood. And now he's on, like, the biggest fall ever, pretty much. So that's why he's getting so much attention. But he really tries to play the race card here and be like, oh, well, the only reason I'm getting hit so hard is because I'm black. And I'm like, no, it's because you hurt your girlfriend, even if you didn't mean to in this case. But there is a lot of evidence to suggest you may have hurt her in the past intentionally. But that's what the courts decided. So, I don't know. I have very strong opinions about this. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think about the whole race situation? Do you think race really does play a role in the whole situation with why he's being taken down? Or do you think, like me, it's more just because he was in a major role in Marvel and that's why he's getting so much attention? I think even if he was white, he still probably would have been fired for Marvel just the same, honestly. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, at least we didn't see Ezra at the Golden Globes. I mean, I feel like if they allowed him, like, he definitely would have showed up. Mar Hawkman says, yeah, they needed to do damage control with Miller and not act like he was innocent. That's true. I mean, I'm not saying that they should have reshot all of the Flash, because I know they couldn't do that. It was how they handled him and, like, try to, like, push him out as much as they could that I think rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Yes, Scorpio Shadow, exactly. Calvin says Josh Brolin and Jeremy Renner gets a pass. Here's why I think those two get a pass. I didn't even know about those accusations for those actors until, like, after Endgame came out. Honestly, I had no idea about any of that. I think if they were in the middle of filming Infinity War, or about to film Infinity War, and there were fresh accusations about, say, Josh Brolin that came out that were really, really bad, and it was in the news, in the cycle, because everyone knew he was about to play the big bad, play Thanos. So a similar situation with Jonathan Majors, where it was like, while he was still playing the character, I think it would have been a similar situation. I just think that with those two actors, their accusations were, like, so long ago that a lot of people like myself didn't even know about it. Plus, I do believe in, like, second chances and, you know, being able to grow. There are certain crimes that I don't think you can come back from no matter what. But, like, something that happened, like, 20 years ago, you got into an argument or a minor fight with your girlfriend, we can have conversations about, like, should we let that person have a second chance or not. But, like, I think their situation was different. Dr. Shonda says, I'm just thinking now, why are you involving all black people in your fuckery? Thank you, Dr. Shonda. Exactly. Him bringing up in this interview, Jonathan Majors talking about, like, just bringing up the race card really is like, exactly, it's that meme, Dr. Shonda. It's like, why am I in this? I never looked up to you as some great man. You are not my Martin Luther King. Like, who do you think you are? I'm seeing a lot of people say that a lot of people didn't know about Josh Brolin or Jeremy Renner either. See, I didn't know either. Had no idea literally until pretty recently. So I think that's the situation. It just wasn't fresh in the consciousness. It wasn't like something new that came up during filming. I think it was something that I honestly don't even know what those allegations specifically are, to be honest with you. I just know that there are some sort of allegations. But I think that they were, like, so far in the past. I think that's why they got away with it. Scorpio Shadow says, honestly, I agree. If people are willing to change and agree, their past is always stuck with them forever. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, as someone who was abused emotionally and manipulated, I will say this is messed up. The interview? Yeah, honestly, this interview comes across to me as, like, Jonathan Majors does not think that he did anything wrong, like, at all. And he can't see why he got fired or why he's being persecuted. Like, he comes across very high and mighty, even in this interview, which you would think, after having literally lost everything, that he would feel a little like, I don't know, like, I didn't buy that he actually felt sorry. Like, I don't even think he ever actually says the word sorry in this interview. It's more just like, deny, deny, deny. I did nothing wrong. They're just coming after me because I'm a black man. That's really this entire interview. And I'm sorry, but this interview rubbed me the wrong way.
A young white girl down the street.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, where I said he pulls the race card.
A man's gonna be shot and killed in the streets of New York City.
Major's defense team shared these photos.
Sorry, I'm not trying to show like any scabs or marks, because I could also flag the video. But anyway, it does look like there was obviously some sort of fight between the two. Seems like they left marks on each other. So the thing is, he did leave marks on her, but he can't admit that he left marks on her. He's just like, oh, I don't know how they got there, even though we have video and the courts have now decided that's how they got on her. So it's just, and I also have to bring up, because they bring up in this interview that there have been like other allegations that have come up about him too, and he denies those as well. I do want to bring up the fact that he has had people from his past literally call him a sociopath and an abuser. Again, can't verify this, but it's not a good look when you have people from your past coming up out of the woodwork calling you a sociopath. Not great. Also, we have like text messages that came out of the court case that showed that at one point, apparently his ex-girlfriend, the same girlfriend this is all over, had a head injury, and he encouraged her not to go to the hospital because he didn't want them to ask questions. So again, we can't confirm anything out of this, but it is very suspicious, and I think all of this evidence together is why he got the outcome that he did. And I think that I think the outcome is fair. To say that he didn't have intent, I think is fair given what we see in the video. But I think it's also fair to say that he did at least hurt her to a degree. So I agree with the outcome. But anyway, what do you guys think? Natanya says he got his black card denied. Yeah, we're denying it here. We're denying it. Yes, Tate. I just said they both got hurt. They both kind of hurt each other. Obviously, there was a fight going on. For him to just straight up deny it and say, oh, I don't know how those marks got there, makes him seem like an unreliable narrator, and we can't really trust what he says now, because obviously you did. So why are you going to say, no, I don't know how that happened, when, like, we know how it happened, you know? Makes him very untrustworthy. Anyway, moving on. I just had to bring this up. This is a very long video. I'm not going to react to the whole thing, but yes, Jonathan Majors, he tried to go on Good Morning America. He tried to clear his name yet again. I just don't think that this is going to do for him what he thinks it's going to, or I think what he hopes it would do. I'm seeing a lot of people, again, Twitter is not real life, but I'm just seeing a lot of anecdotal evidence here that the interview is not having the effect he wanted. A lot of people are not taking it seriously, or they don't like the fact that he keeps bringing up Coretta Scott King. Okay, we gotta bring up the Coretta Scott King thing, because what in the world? So, first of all, there's an audio. Wait, let me see if I can find this audio. Yeah, this is what, there's a leaked audio, not a leaked audio, but an audio file that came out through the court case of Jonathan Majors saying he is just this great man to his girlfriend, and that he needs his girlfriend to be more like a Coretta Scott King. Mind you, his girlfriend was white, so that's strange. But it also just, I think the weirder thing about it is just that he's comparing himself to like Martin Luther King Jr. Just listen to this. Very, very strange video here.
I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman.
There are some who question, especially
He really wants the woman that he's with to be his Coretta Scott King, who was Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife.
Scott King and Michelle Obama.
It was me trying to give
This
an
is his
analogy of,
explanation.
of what it is I'm aspiring to be. You know, these great men.
He's saying this is me just saying this is what I aspire to be, but on the tape, he's not saying he's aspiring to be like Martin Luther King Jr. He's saying he is like Martin Luther King Jr., which is a big difference. Big difference. Anyway, he tries to play it down. Very crazy tape. But the thing is, though, he has a new girlfriend now. I think it's probably mostly PR, but we'll see. Her name is Megan Good. Megan Good, by the way, she's in the Shazam movies if you don't know who she is. But Megan Good, she's another person like Taraji P. Henson, who I don't know if she's really been in a lot of movies that, well, I'll just be frank. I don't know if she's been in a lot of, like, quote, black movies, like a lot of, like, majority of black films. So she's been in the game for a long time, too. She is not a new actress at all. I've seen Megan Good in a ton of stuff. I just don't know if she's, outside of, like, Shazam, she's really been in anything that I think a wide mainstream audience has seen. But Megan Good has been around. And Megan is his current girlfriend. I think maybe they might be real at this point. I don't know. Could all be just PR. It's just very suspicious because apparently he didn't used to date black women. Then all of a sudden now he's dating a black woman during this trial. Very suspicious, but we'll see. Anyway, he decides to call Megan his Coretta.
Even present for our interview.
How would you describe your relationship?
She's an angel. She's held me down like a Coretta.
See, like a Coretta. I'm sorry. I just find this so funny because I'm just like, why is he seem to be so obsessed with Coretta Scott King? And why does he feel like he needs his woman to be his Coretta Scott King specifically? Again, it just shows so much about what he thinks of himself. I feel like somebody, or maybe multiple people, must have told him that because he's a black man and he got this major role in a major franchise like Marvel, that he must be doing great things and that he's doing great things for the culture because he keeps bringing up the culture and he's doing great things for the people. And I'm just like, dude, I mean, it's great that you got this big role in Marvel and all, but like Marvel actually has a lot of diversity now. You're not the first like black man to get a major role in this franchise. I mean, we have Black Panther. I mean, Black Panther wasn't even the first one to be that anyway. We also had freaking War Machine all the way back in Iron Man. So I don't know. He seems to have a very like diluted sense of self-importance. It's what I'm saying. Yes, Calvin says Megan has been in the game for a while now. She got her start on Friday. Exactly. I've known Megan for a while, which is why it's really disappointing to see Megan attach herself to him. But you know, she's getting a lot of press out of it, so I guess you know there's that. Scorpio says Chadwick will always forever be our king. I know, it's very sad. I wish he could still be here, truly. It's sad that he's not. Some person skywalking says he needs some serious help and leave the public eye ASAP. Yeah. Totally agree. I think the best thing that Jonathan Majors could do for himself right now is just go away and let people forget about all of this, not make it worse, and come back in a very like prestigious small indie movie with like a really great performance people can't deny. I think that's what he's got to do. That's the only way he can fix his career and also fix his personality. That will help too. Dion Hayes says you don't get that movie role no more soon as he start getting in trouble. Marvel dropped him. Are you saying you think he got Megan Good as PR to help him? I mean, I definitely agree. I think that's why she's there. Although maybe they're good friends. I do believe they're at least good friends. But anyway, I think that's the end of our Jonathan Majors discussion. I'm sure that won't be the final end of it. I'm sure he'll do something else. We'll hear about him again. I just have a feeling he's not over this. He still feels like, I just get the sense from this interview that he still feels like he's not done yet, even though I think he very much is, and that he's like, I just don't think he's living in reality. Like, I don't think it's really weighed on him yet that he's seriously effed his career. Because I get the sense that he still thinks he can just kind of walk away from this, and I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see. I have a feeling this will not be the last time we see Jonathan Majors, although not in a movie. But moving on to the Golden Globes now. So the Golden Globes were last night. I didn't get to watch all of it, although I have seen like clips and parts of it, and I was keeping up to date with what was happening on social media. But what sucks with having to rely on streaming and everything, I was like, oh, I'll just watch it on streaming. But no, I had to freaking buy the premium version of freaking Paramount Plus, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that. So let's just go over the biggest winners and the biggest losers. So I'm not going to go over every category because we really will be here all day. But I just wanted to show you, here's what all the films that were nominated. So Barbie actually got the most nominations with 9, Oppenheimer with 8, Killers with 7, Poor Things with 7, Past Lives with 5, Anatomy with the Fall with 5, Maestro with 4, May December 4, Across the Spider-Verse 3, and Mario 3. So these were the movies that got the most nominations. Now, here are these are the movies that actually won. This is pretty different. I think that it's clear Oppenheimer cleaned house, but a lot of these other movies really underperformed, especially Barbie. Barbie only got 2 wins, which I think is pretty sad, especially when it got 9 nominations. So only 2 wins mean it basically lost almost all of the major categories. It really only won 2, and I'll show you which ones it won in a minute. But I'm very sad that Barbie didn't get more love. I think Barbie deserved more love. Seems like Oppenheimer already has the steam it needs to really win the Oscars. So at this point, I would be willing to put money on the fact that Oppenheimer will probably win Best Picture. I think it's definitely going to happen. But what do you guys think? Are you guys surprised by this outcome at all? Or are you surprised that Oppenheimer won so many or that Barbie won so few? I know, Natanya, Taylor Swift didn't win anything, and she heard a joke that she did not like, so I don't think Taylor Swift had a good time last night. Yeah, Barbie definitely deserved better. Yes, we will talk about The Boy and the Heron. So let's look at what specifically each one won. So Lily Gladstone won Best Actress in a Drama. So that's good for her. Both she and Emma Stone won for their respective categories. So I think for the Best Actress category in the Oscars, it's probably going to come down between these two, Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone. Unfortunately, I don't think Margot Robbie really stands a chance, just because it seems like Barbie might be one of those movies that gets a lot of nominations but won't get a lot of wins. I feel like the industry is just like, oh, you already made a ton of money, you don't need a lot of wins. But anyway, I'm still happy for Lily Gladstone. She seems like a really nice woman. Emma Stone, she's getting a lot of press and praise from cinephiles in Hollywood for Poor Things. This is one of those movies that it's really weird to me because I don't think the majority of the public has still seen Poor Things or is even aware of what Poor Things is. So this is one of those movies where like cinephiles in Hollywood really loves it, but like the general public has probably never heard of it, is probably never going to see it. But that's what, these award shows usually do. Oh yeah, Jessica H says they were gossiping about Timothy. Oh, we'll get into it. We'll get into all the drama. It's a pretty fun show. I mean, I didn't watch it all, but just from the little clips and stuff that I've seen, it didn't look too bad, or at least outside of the monologue. Moving on. Christopher Nolan did win for Best Director. Again, I think he's probably going to win this at the Oscars as well. We had Cillian Murphy, who won Best Actor for Drama. Again, I think he's probably going to win the Best Actor at the Oscars, too. Poor freaking, what's his name? Bradley Cooper, who apparently is just so freaking thirsty. Like, super, super thirsty to win an Oscar for Maestro. Have you guys seen some of the clips from Maestro and, like, the stuff he's been saying to campaign for this movie? Like, apparently, Bradley Cooper spent 6 years learning how to conduct an orchestra just so he can conduct an orchestra for real in the movie Maestro, where he plays a famous conductor, which I think is BS, because I don't even think it takes 6 years to learn conducting in like actual school. And B, I actually read a few comments from people who apparently are music people that were like, he's conducting wrong anyway, so what was he learning all those 6 years? He might have a great performance. I haven't seen the movie itself, but I do think Bradley Cooper's campaigning has been a little silly. He has been, I think, too desperate for an Oscar, and I think it's been hurting him a lot in his campaigning. It's coming across too desperate, too try hard. I also think Cillian Murphy just gave a great performance in Oppenheimer, so I don't see Bradley Cooper taking it. I think this is the start of Cillian Murphy winning all these awards, and I think Bradley Cooper's going to be very upset about it, but we'll see. Martin Schmidt, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Oscars 2024. Barbie moves to adapted, shifting the original screenplay category, so Oppenheimer and Barbie are in the same category for the Oscars. That's true. I didn't talk about this, but Barbie was originally going to be, or could be considered to be, nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars, but they changed its potential category to Best Adapted, because I guess the Academy felt like, because she was basing it on dolls, that it had to be based on a source material. I don't know. It was going to be that Barbie and Oppenheimer were nominated in different categories for screenplay, but now they're going to be in the same category. I still think it's probably going to go to Oppenheimer, which sucks, because I really think Barbie deserves a nomination or win for its script, but I think they're definitely going to give Oppenheimer everything. Honestly, I have a bad feeling about Barbie. I think it's going to get a lot of nominations, but not a lot of wins, unfortunately. Leo Galaxy says Bradley Cooper was nominated 9 times for an Oscar. I know, but he really wants to win Best Actor. He really, really wants it. I just don't think it's going to happen. Bite Bard says, I'm a music teacher who teaches band and choir, and I could tell you for a fact that conducting math be hard, but not 6 years worth of training hard. I know. I mean, I was thinking about when you go to school to like learn music, say for undergrad, it only takes 4 years. So how can it take 6 years to learn how to be a conductor if you only need to take 4 years of undergrad for it? That's all. I'm like, I know that's BS. But anyway, the next thing, Robert Downey Jr., this was a nice surprise. He won for Best Supporting Actor in a Drama, and he had the best speech of the night, I felt. He was very charismatic. Just reminded everyone why he basically held the MCU on his shoulders for 15 years, or 10 plus years, I guess. Very, very happy for him. Again, it just shows you, I think the Hollywood really, really loves Oppenheimer, although this is the Hollywood Foreign Press, but I think Oppenheimer's going to get the same kind of love overall. Happy that RDJ won. Loved his speech. If you haven't watched his speech, you should watch it. Thought he was good in Oppenheimer. Even though I didn't care for the movie itself, I do think he was good in it, so I'm not surprised. I also really like his glasses. They look like the Edith glasses that Tony Stark would wear. But anyway. Yes, RDJ won. I'm glad you guys are happy for him. Moving on. So Barbie did win. It won 2 categories. It won the Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement, which I have a huge problem with this category. I feel like, first of all, okay, back up. This is the first time this category has even been introduced, like, at all. So this category, I thought they introduced this category mainly so that Taylor Swift could go to the show and then win, because Taylor Swift The Eras Tour was also nominated for this. And I was thinking, surely they're not just going to give it to Barbie, because why on earth would they have an award for best box office achievement only to just give it to whoever won the most money? I was thinking, oh, maybe there's some other narrative to it. And then at least the Era Store had the whole narrative that she didn't go to the studios. She just went straight to the theaters. And, you know, at least that would be the excuse they would have to give Taylor Swift an award. So everyone thought that too was going to win this award. But no, they gave this to Barbie so that they could give someone else the best comedy musical category award, which sucks because I thought Barbie should have won that. But anyway, I got the best cinematic and box office achievement. I'm at least happy it won something because I really like this movie. But I do think it was robbed for a lot of the major categories, though. This one's kind of a gimme. This is like, oh yeah, you won the most money, so here was an award. I don't know how serious this category is, to be honest. Oh, Cowboy Fan, you think this was a good idea? Why do you think this was a good idea? I'm curious. Sim says this is a very predictable category for the highest box office. Exactly. If you're just going to give the one who made the most money the award, then what is the point of the award? That's why I thought this was just made for Taylor Swift. And she showed up. I'm sure Taylor must have thought she would have won this award because I don't think she would have showed up if she thought she was going to lose. So yeah, this is surprising to me. I'm not gonna lie. Edgemon says, "Who the f was that person that made those unfunny, problematic jokes?" Yeah, they had a comedian as the host of the night, and he made some jokes at the audience. Honestly, he wasn't funny, and he was bombing the whole night. But the particular joke he made towards Taylor Swift was so tame. All he said was like, the difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL is that we'll show shots of Taylor Swift less. That's literally his entire joke, and she made like the ugliest, meanest face, like, oh, how dare you criticize me? Don't you know who I am? As you guys know, I'm a Taylor hater, so it was just funny seeing her reaction to that. I thought the joke was pretty tame. But anyway, moving on. The other award Barbie got was the Billie Eilish song. We've been talking about, the debate over who's going to win Best Original Song. We've been talking about the fact that Peaches was robbed for the shortlist. Peaches should have been nominated and won the Oscar. Yeah, I'm riding hard for Peaches. But we also had I'm Just Ken, the Dua Lipa song, all from Barbie, plus some other songs as well. But they decided, Golden Globes at least, decided to give it to Billie Eilish. So I'm wondering if she's going to take home the Oscar, because she already has an Oscar. She got an Oscar for the Bond song. So this would be her second Oscar, which is crazy. She's only like, 21, 22? Like, come on. How does she already have 2 Oscars? I mean, she might not win this, but this is good momentum for her. Are you guys surprised by this? I know, Sam, Peaches was the best song. I'm so mad. But I'm happy for Billie. I do like Billie a lot. If it wasn't Peaches, I'm glad it was this one. I'm surprised it wasn't I'm Just Ken, especially since Ryan Gosling was really campaigning for this one hard. I wonder if he rubbed people the wrong way with the Christmas mix. Seems like most of you guys are just happy for Billie. But why, Blue Gecko Nerd? Why? Star Film Studio says Taylor Swift will beat Barbie's ass. What? What do you mean? Anyway, I'm curious to see if she'll get the Oscar now that she got the Golden Globe. Also, talking about Barbie, I do like that Margot Robbie's still wearing her Barbie fits. She wore this nice pink dress here that was supposed to be like the superstar Barbie dress. I think that's really nice. I'm sad that she didn't get to wear it while accepting her Best Actress nomination, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. The Boy and the Heron. The Boy and the Heron won Best Animated Film. Now, this was a surprise because a lot of people thought it might go to Across the Spider-Verse, especially since Into the Spider-Verse actually won, when it came out all those years ago and really started this whole renaissance of new art forms that we're getting now. And deservedly so, it did deserve that Oscar. So it's surprising that the sequel isn't getting as much Oscar heat, because it seems like Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron is getting all the attention. So I'm actually really happy for Miyazaki. You guys know I don't think this is his best movie, but I like that Miyazaki is getting love and respect and attention finally. I feel like Miyazaki movies were always seen as like some niche, geeky thing. Now I feel like it's starting to be like fully embraced by the mainstream, so that's really nice. I'm glad that the Academy's embracing it. Really, really crazy that it beat Across the Spider-Verse, and it beat Nimona. Actually, I don't know if Nimona was nominated, but it should have been. Obviously, it beat all the Disney movies too, so this is a huge, huge win for it. Also, just to show you how big of a win it is, it's actually the first non-English film to win Best Animated Feature at the Golden Globes, so that just shows you that Miyazaki is really like punching through and breaking a lot of barriers here. So happy for Miyazaki, happy for this film. I'm just happy that good original art is succeeding at least somewhere. And it's doing well at the box office, so happy about that too. Moving on to the next topic. So I don't really talk about TV much. I just thought I'd briefly mention that the shows that won the most awards were Succession, which you guys, actually, I don't think I've mentioned Succession much, but I love Succession. Not surprised that it won the awards that it got. Then we got The Bear and Beef, which both won 3. I haven't seen most of either of these, but I know they're very, very popular shows. Now, I did mention the fact that the host was, like, not well received. He did try to say, like, he did try to defend himself, I guess, but honestly, I think he just completely bombed. Nobody liked him. I don't think he'll be asked back. You know who I want back as the host? I want Ricky Gervais back. He was good at roasting people in the audience, but doing it in a fun way that, like, made everyone kind of chuckle. He was just kind of being a jerk. He was not fun. I want Ricky Gervais back as the host. That's who if they do have a host next year, that's who they should get. Or someone like him. Because he did not work. Did not like this guy one bit. I don't think most people did. Not Ricky. Oh, wait. Rodney Dollar doesn't want Ricky? Why not Ricky? Sim says he was the 6th choice. Chris Rock or Ricky Gervais should be hosting. At least Ricky won. You know, I don't think Ricky Gervais wants to host the Golden Globes, which is sad because I think he'd be a good one. But anyway. Now, we also got some wins from the Creative Arts Emmys. So, just to give you an idea, The Last of Us won 8 Emmys. It won for all of these categories. These aren't the main Emmys. These are the Creative Arts Emmys. But it won a lot of, like, good tech stuff. Even some acting ones, like Best Guest Actress and Best Guest Actor. The Simpsons won Best Animated Series, which I'm like, after all these years, it's still winning Emmys. I mean, good for The Simpsons, I guess. That show has been on for forever. And then, of course, Ryan Reynolds, he saw a marketing opportunity and he took it because Ryan Reynolds never saw a marketing opportunity that he didn't want to take. But he won an Emmy for his show, Welcome to Wrexham. And he did his acceptance speech as Deadpool. So he's promoting 2 things at once while accepting an award. Please tell me who else is doing marketing like that, because no one else is doing it like Ryan Reynolds. I almost can't wait for Deadpool 3 to come out just to see what marketing genius Ryan Reynolds is cooking up, because you just know he's going to go all out for that movie. He just knows it. So I don't know. I just thought this was kind of funny. You guys should watch it. He literally did his entire acceptance speech in the Deadpool suit. Anyway. So that's the end here. That's kind of all the news I wanted to go over before we get to the member question. But any thoughts here on the award season so far, how it's shaping up, anything that we discussed here so far before we get to the member section? Arvin says he is intelligent at marketing. He very much is. Very much is. Anyway, getting to the member question now. So I actually asked you guys about Jonathan Majors. I wanted to know, do you think that Jonathan Majors going on the Good Morning Show and trying to clear his name and, you know, really just trying to, like, rehabilitate his image, do you think it's going to work? Do you ever see him coming back as Kang and all, what do you think Jonathan's future is like? That's what I asked you guys. And Alexander, thank you so much for being a member, says, "Hey Brittany, and I feel like Jonathan Majors wants to get the sympathy vote by the public, but the thing is that once you're convicted guilty, it's very hard to come back from that term in terms of public image wise. I would say in like 10 to 20 years, he can maybe try to come back. As always, keep up the great work." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he needs to take a break, like a long break, and like maybe come back in like 5 years from now with a small indie movie to try to build cred. And then maybe in like 10 years from now, he can be at the point where he can be in major blockbusters again. That's kind of what he should do. Nicholas Wilson, thank you so much for the super chat. It's a tough question. I've spent my life around survivors of abuse and have literally no sympathy for abusers. Same. And from what we've seen, he absolutely fits the profile, but anyone is capable of change, in theory. Granted, abusers don't usually change, but it's theoretically possible. For now though, I have absolutely zero sympathy for him, and I only seen him acting like nothing's his fault, which again fits his profile. Like, that's exactly what I think, Nicholas Wilson. Everything I've seen from him not just only suggests that he might have an abusive past, which is not good, but the fact that he's not even remorseful of it or even think that he's done anything wrong. And that's what, like, every time he speaks in an interview, honestly, I'm getting, like, alarm bells ringing. I'm just like, there's not something right about this guy. Like, up here, there's not something right with him. I think he's really just, like, not living in reality, like, at all. Rachel Reed's Romance, thank you so much for being a member. I don't want to see him back and don't think he can redeem himself, but I also don't think Disney/Marvel cares what the fans want anymore. I think they do care what the fans want. They just don't know how to give it to them. I'm getting the vibe that they are going to do a propaganda tour pretending he has changed and ignore any feedback. Honestly, if they did that, I'd be so pissed off. You guys know why I'd be pissed off if they did that? Because something that Disney has been hammered hard for is their performative activism when it comes to gender equality and championing feminine, female rights and all of that. How can Marvel, act like they're doing any sort of activism or any sort of good in their movies, championing feminism and, gender equality, when they're still going to parade around a guy that just got found guilty for assaulting his ex-girlfriend? Like, you can't, the cognitive dissonance there. You just can't have both, is what I'm saying. You can't go around in your movies acting like you're doing, the world a favor by championing female, women empowerment and protect and try to say sorry for abusers at the same time. You can't do both. So if they did do that, I just call everyone at Marvel and Disney a hypocrite, and I won't take any activism or message they put in their movies seriously. Or at least not when it comes to this. That's why it would make me very angry. What is it with these movie execs going so hard to hold on to abusive actors? I think that's just the culture in Hollywood. We found out during the Me Too era that apparently Hollywood is well aware of several known abusers, and they just kind of protect them because I guess they don't see a problem with it. Hollywood's super weird. They want to get on their soapbox and tell the world how they should act and how they should be morally correct and all of this. And then they do the most depraved, awful stuff behind the scenes, and they constantly protect abusers. So it's just I don't know. I also feel like this cognitive dissonance between what Hollywood says and what they do is also what's driving people away from Hollywood and their content too, to be honest. I think Hollywood is hurting their own reputation. Moving on, RuPaul's Drag Race Superfan, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, not super chat, for being a member. Hey Brittany, this is so disgusting. Why the hell would GMA give the man who was convicted a platform but not the woman who he abused? True. Again, this is Disney who is doing this, by the way. Disney, the one that fired him, which is why I'm thinking maybe Marvel secretly, either feels bad for him or actually wants him back, because why would they do this? He is trying to salvage a career that is no longer there. The fact that he has denied all wrongdoing shows you how bad of a person he truly is. Instead of reflecting on his behavior and see what he can do so this doesn't happen again, he is on GMA trying to make people sympathetic to his cause. Exactly. He doesn't think he's done anything wrong. Again, even though the courts have said, yes, you did, he's still like, no, I didn't. Because he doesn't think he can do anything wrong. I'm glad he was convicted, and I hope he never ever works in Hollywood ever again. I don't think he will, to be honest, because he cannot be trusted around women at all. Also, Marvel needs to ditch Kang, because it will also be associated with that piece of ish and will just bring their brand down. Sorry, Brittany, for being so heated, but my mother has been abused. Oh, I'm very sorry. And has had a man just like this, who did not feel like he did anything wrong. This is why I am so passionate about it. Also, the way some media try to say, oh, she is not a victim because he was running from her, that doesn't mean that don't mean nothing when you are in an abusive relationship. You sometimes don't know what to do and don't want to lose that person. Also, it's the fact that there are so many people who say he's a horrible human being, like he is just a bad person and needs to leave us the hell alone. I've also decided if any studio gives him a job, I will boycott that studio because I will not support a studio that supports domestic violence. Yeah, I mean, you are totally right and valid in all of your opinions, and I actually agree with everything that you said. That's why I am side-eyeing both Disney and Marvel, the fact that he was on Good Morning America. Because I'm like, why are you fired him, Disney? Why are you now trying to get people on his side? What is this about? And I am seeing rumors and sort of scoops that Marvel was blindsided by all of this. Like, they didn't think that he would actually be convicted. So I'm thinking, honestly, my gut is telling me that this is someone within Marvel, high up in Marvel's doing. They're trying to do a subtle apology tour to try to get people back on his side. I feel like that's what they're doing. And that pisses me off so much. Because I'm like, why? You're literally getting hammered so hard for how feminist you're trying to make all your properties now. But in the same vein, you're trying to accuse this guy and try to get us all sorry for him. You can't do both. It's trying to speak out both sides of your mouth. You can't do both. Nicholas Wilson, thank you so much for the super chat. Hollywood values money over people. Oh yeah, I mean every major industry does. Hollywood's unfortunately no different there. But getting back to this, Shelley Lee says, I don't know who Kang is, but this major guy's career is pretty much inert now. I have not kept up with this case. I am caught up now, and there is no way in hell he gets any sympathy from anyone in Hollywood. We have not moved that much socially. Sorry, we just have not. Yeah, he's not going to get sympathy. Again, I know Twitter isn't everything, but just looking on social media, doesn't seem like he's getting a lot of sympathy from people. In fact, it's everything he does to try to get sympathy only seems to backfire on him, so he just needs to go away. Alex says, this won't help him at all in my opinion. How many viewers watch GMA anymore when people mostly stream now? True. Which version of him will we get on GMA? Kang, Victor Timely, himself, or the high school crime fighter? I think we got the high school crime fighter, unfortunately. Why have him on? I don't see this winning any public sympathy. Marvel needs to move on from Kang and just ditch him like Fantastic Beasts ditched Johnny. If they want to have Kang, just use the multiverse to put a variant in it. Maybe that will make him better since his version of Kang comes off as cringe anyway. Well, those are my thoughts. As always, keep up the great work. Can't wait to see what other things we have in store in 2024, especially now that we moved away from holes. What will be the next thing? Oh, I have no idea. You guys always come up with something crazy. And thank you for being a member. But yes, definitely agree with you. I don't know how many people watch GMA anymore either. I definitely I definitely know that just linear television news does not get the reach that it used to. I don't think people are really mostly paying attention to this anyway, but the people who are just not buying it. They're not buying any of it, and I think it just makes them look worse. But thank you everyone for being a member here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I believe I saw a super chat. Oh yes, Young Hollywood. Thank you so much for the super chat. No one noticed his sociopathic roid rage aura. Is that what the aura is? Because I am getting like a weird aura from him. Like I feel like I sometimes am I can sort of pick up people's vibes really well. And his vibe just screams like not right. Like there's just something not right. There's just something not right is all I'm saying. I don't think he is living in reality. That's all I'm saying. But thank you so much for the super chat. Anyway, thank you all for coming to my show. Really appreciate it. This was a great show. This was super fun. I will see you guys again on Wednesday. Thank you for coming for the show. As always, it'll be at 4 p.m. We'll talk about something. Maybe we'll talk about... Because I haven't talked about like what my... You know what? I think I know what Wednesday's show will be. Wednesday's show will be my top 10, like my prediction for what I think the top 10 highest grossing movies of the year will be. That will be Wednesday's show if there's not a lot of news. So look forward to that. I'm also reviewing the Mean Girls movie. So look forward to that live review on Friday for the Mean Girls movie. And I'll see you then. Bye, guys.